Airstrikes and bomb attacks continue in the Middle East.
This is an act of sheer evil.
As President Biden stresses to Congress the importance to aid Israel. A Florida woman faces charges.
This is about voter intimidation.
For something she did during the 2020 elections. Looks like trick-or-treating may not be a treat this year. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Kelly Sanchez.
I'm Kenneth Bueno. Today is Wednesday, October 11th, 2023.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
Israel is ramping up airstrikes in Gaza today as the war stretches into its fourth day. President Biden is stressing U.S. support for Israel and calling on Congress to help.
But as CNN's Jen Sullivan reports, turmoil in the House of Representatives could derail efforts to send aid.
At night, the skies near Gaza lighting up as Israeli defense missiles target Palestinian rockets. The sound of sirens filling the air. During the day, streets submerged in smoke, rescue teams pulling out bodies from under rubble.
It's the forces of evil, the forces that want to take us back 500 years.
In Gaza alone, hundreds are dead and many more missing, including Americans. As tensions rise between Israel and Hamas, so does the fear from families wondering what's happened to missing loved ones, like Jacob Ben Sr., whose daughter Danielle has been missing since Friday.
You can't rest, you can't eat, you can't live, you can't breathe. My heart, it's on the floor.
The atrocities in Israel triggering global reaction.
This is an act of sheer evil.
On Tuesday, President Joe Biden calling on Congress to take immediate action, saying he wants to send ammunition and interceptors to help Israel fight Hamas.
We're going to make sure that Israel does not run out of these critical assets to defend its cities and its citizens.
But turmoil in the House of Representatives could hinder efforts to send help. Without a speaker, the House is unable to vote on any legislation, including aid packages.
We got to get 217 votes to go to the floor.
Tuesday, Representative Steve Scalise and Representative Jim Jordan laying out their reasons to be the next speaker. But without a clear frontrunner, the future for aid to Israel is unclear. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
As Jen mentioned, without a speaker, the House is unable to vote on any legislation. Israel is at war, and a government shutdown is looming. House Republicans say they hope a vote scheduled for today will be an important step forward.
Israel's war against Hamas,
our enemies view it as an opportunity, and our allies worry,
is adding to the pressure on House Republicans to choose the next speaker. They're set to vote behind closed doors today. First on the agenda is a proposed rule change. It would ensure a candidate has enough support to take the gavel before a floor vote. That's after it took 15 rounds to elect the previous speaker, Kevin McCarthy.
I think we got to get 217 votes to go to the floor.
After that, Republicans hope to pick a new speaker. Two men are vying for the job as a government shutdown looms. Representative Jim Jordan proposes a long-term stopgap funding bill with spending cuts.
We got to help Israel, that's for sure.
House Majority Leader Steve Scalise says he wants to get Senate Democrats to negotiate.
What people have really liked about my approach is that I've been a unifier.
It's unclear if either candidate has enough support to get elected. As for McCarthy, he says he'll back whichever nominee gets party support. And the man who led his ouster seems ready to go easier on the next speaker.
I'm very confident that both of these men would represent an upgrade over Speaker McCarthy.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
A woman accused of voter fraud in Florida is fighting back, and she's getting help from a high-profile civil rights attorney. Benjamin Crump held a news conference in Tallahassee yesterday. He's defending 69-year-old Marsha Irvin. She allegedly voted while on probation in the 2020 and 2022 primary elections. Crump accuses state leaders of using confusing laws to discourage voting.
This is about voter intimidation. This is about to instill fear in people in our community to say, well, I don't want to get in any trouble, so I'm not going to come and vote.
In 2019, the legislature made changes to an amendment that restores voting rights to people with past felony convictions. Critics complain that it is very difficult now to know when you become eligible.
According to the American Red Cross, the U.S. blood supply is at an all-time low this morning. The Red Cross is now asking high schools and colleges to bring back blood drives to help with the shortage. Donations have dropped nearly 25% since August. Busy travel and weather crises have also affected the strain in supply. Experts hope to see a change by this school year.
Trick-or-treaters may expect an extra scare on Halloween, and it is not a haunted house. According to a survey, less candy will be given out due to rising costs of inflation. 40% of adults stated that inflation will make them decide whether to purchase candy. This also ties in with 30% of adults saying that they would spend less money and in total buy less candy.
Man is being treated after jumping into the reflection pool at the World Trade Center Memorial in Manhattan. The unnamed man fell about 30 feet to the bottom on Monday. The water at the memorial has been turned off as a result. Sources tell rescuers that police went through an access door used for maintenance to get to the jumper. The 33-year-old man told police he did this, quote, for his father.
We saw the firefighters and the emergency personnel come down the escalator as we went into the memorial, and they said everything's fine, but they were coming in and going to like a back room, and we figured that down there where we were was where they could access.
It's not clear if he lost anyone on that 9/11 day. First responders took him to the hospital, but he will be receiving a mental evaluation as well. In addition to that, criminal charges such as trespassing may apply, but it's still pending.
Pumpkin season is here, and one pumpkin stood out from the rest.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
We do this because, hey, this is what you should do. And places like this don't exist anymore.
A comic shop owner helping kids battle cancer through the wonderful world of toys and comics. Newsbreak will be back in just a moment.
See us dream. See us remember. See us protest.
You matter. Your feelings matter. Your identity matters. Everything about who you are matters.
See us fight back. See us rebuild. See us shatter stereotypes. See us inspire. See us united. See us now.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Grandfather's fight, a man using comics to deal with a very serious situation. Tennessee grandfather is making it his mission to raise money for his 8-year-old granddaughter battling leukemia.
Reporter Mandy Harach from WHBQ shows us how he is using proceeds from a comic book store to raise money for her treatment and other kids with cancer.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is the amazing Mr. Robert here at the Daycare Kids Comic Toys and Antiquities, and we're being accompanied by Fox News 13. And I'm the amazing Mr. Robert here with my sidekick,
Squirt.
And we're here to show you our wonderful world.
Whether you're into comic books, superheroes, or monsters.
This is our fabulous Monster Island from all your kaijus from Japan, Bandai, Power Rangers, you name it.
There's something for everyone at the Daycare Kids Comics, Toys, and Antiques shop in West Memphis.
This store is our time machine. My wife wanted something when you came from the outside world with all the misery today. You could come in here and forget it for one moment and remember being a kid.
The owner, known by many as the amazing Mr. Robert, started collecting more than 4 decades ago and opened his shop 7 years ago. His wife helped him find unique, one-of-a-kind pieces until she lost her battle to cancer in 2020. 7 days later, his granddaughter Hannah was diagnosed with leukemia.
So they took me to Lebanon, and then they put this needle through my hand, and then they took me to St. Jude. It was not very fun.
And with us just battling for a year and a half with my wife passed away from stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And after watching her go through it, you know, you have to do it again.
That's when Robert decided every future penny made at the comic book store would go towards Hannah's treatment and other patients at St. Jude.
I'm retired. All I'm going to do is spend it on them. So we give a lot of proceeds to St. Jude's, who helps her every year at the Memphis Comic and Fantasy Convention.
After a long journey of chemo treatments and taking medication, Hannah is on the mend.
We've got about 6.5, 7 months to go, and then we'll be done with treatment, and she'll be in remission.
That's where she sleeps, on her giant Chewbacca.
But I'm pretty big for it.
And Robert's collection continues to grow in memory of his wife and in honor of kids like Hannah.
We do this because, hey, this is what you should do. And places like this don't exist anymore.
That was the WHBQ's Mandy Hirach reporting. As Hannah's treatment is closer to remission, Mr. Robert, who is retired, continues to pay it forward for all kids battling cancer.
Just in time for Halloween, there's a new Pumpkin King, and it is a giant one. A giant pumpkin by the name of Michael Jordan dominated the pumpkin weigh-off in California. It clocked in at around 2,749 pounds, making it the greatest pumpkin of all time. This huge weight also set a new world record for the books. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
I help our fellows design their paths as creative entrepreneurs. My experiences serving startups, creative businesses, and cultural organizations, and my journey as a queer mixed immigrant with Haitian and Arabic roots, inform the co-creative environment we foster at Radcliffe. We leverage our collective diversity to encourage the building of lifelong personal learning networks and mindsets that stimulate continuous innovation.
Well, that's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Kenneth Bueno.
I'm Kelly Sanchez. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.